Okay, we are going live again today for this amazing exclusive episode where I'm going to be inviting the founder of the Ayahuasca retreat up here today to answer anybody's questions regarding ayahuasca and plant-based medicines. So just bear with us in this moment because we're having a few technical difficulties. So thank you for coming back, people, and thank you for bearing with us. Like I say, with any of these podcasts or lives, for instance, there's always sometimes technical difficulties. So just bear with us as I'm going to try and get Sam up again, and we're going to make this work this. Sam, you're back. Oh my God, you're back, my friend.
Quite an adventure. I don't know what's going on. My internet should be good.
Okay, let's go. Let's see what we can do. I mean, if all goes to shit, we can do this another day. But let's go. We're working in a minute, so let's see what we can do, my friend. So Sam, as I just mentioned there, I don't know if you heard me or not, but please can you just explain a little bit about who you are, what you do, what you had to do in order to get from your previous life to where you are now. So just talk us a little bit about the process. And
Mhm.
yeah, just everybody's curious to know how you went from where you once were, because you're obviously not from Colombia, to now running a ayahuasca retreat in Colombia. So really excited to hear you share your story today, my friend.
Well, it's gonna be a long answer. I hope you guys have a few hours of time. Just kidding. So I am originally from Latvia. I'm 35 years old, and I began working in on ships and then in offshore oil and gas. I didn't never like my job, so after about 10 years of working in this industry, I went traveling, stumbled upon Colombia, loved it so much, stayed here, met my wife. When the COVID started, we moved to the countryside, and pretty much soon after that, started the ayahuasca retreat. Sounds very simple, but of course it was not, and there's a lot of work involved, and yeah, but ayahuasca helps for sure in guiding me and giving me hopes that I can actually set such big goals and achieve them. Hope that summary is enough, or you want me to go into details?
No, okay, so that's great to start with. So I want to ask you then, Sam, what was say your first encounter of ayahuasca? Because where you just briefly explained, you went from working on ships to then coming to Colombia, falling in love, opening a retreat. There was a lot of steps of the in between. But what
Yeah.
made you say choose ayahuasca? How did you fall into this pathway? What put you down this track?
Well, what brought me to ayahuasca was a mix of desperation and curiosity. More curiosity at first, but then later on more desperation because uh, I really needed some help. I was mentally a bit off. I believe I was depressed and I was directionless in life. And I found ayahuasca and it really helped me first to get over that pain and then later to find a direction in life and which just so happened to be was connected with ayahuasca and it led me to starting this retreat and because I myself have benefited so much from this medicine, I um, then went on this quest to try and have as many people as possible have it as well, and provide a good, high quality, trusted experience, and also affordable one.
Okay, so that's brilliant. So now I just want to say rewind it again a little bit. And for anyone they say that's new here, that's listening in, and they're like, "What the fuck is ayahuasca?" They never heard of it. Can you just briefly explain what is ayahuasca? Like for anyone new that's never heard of it or may heard someone talk about it, maybe on a podcast or on the internet, for instance, and they're curious, but they have got no real clue of what it really is. Can you just summarize what is ayahuasca?
Ayahuasca is a psychedelic brew. It's traditionally prepared and consumed by indigenous people in northeast Amazon, um, sorry, northwest, and it's basically a drink that you drink it and you see visions, or you get information from the plant spirit, and it generally people seek it out when they are depressed, anxious. Some people seek it out for growth, uh, better connection, better spiritual connection. It's a very diverse tool uh, that helps with everything from mental illness, physical ailments, and also growth and spirituality. I can tell you it's generally made from two plants, which is ayahuasca vine, Banisteriopsis capi, and the DMT shrub, chacruna or chagro. It's cooked for about 3 days. It's a shamanic ritual, the preparation, and yeah, it's consumed in a ceremony, and every part of ayahuasca process has a ceremony behind it, and we really like to follow that and sort of stick to the tradition.
Amazing. So you mentioned there about how it's been used for hundreds, thousands of years by indigenous people. How do you think that they come about this? Like, like it's one root mixed with another one and put into a brew, you say, mixed up for 3 days or whatever it was, and then it creates this almost like a potion, you could say. How did they come about this? Like, for anyone that's listening that doesn't have a clue, like, how did this all come about?
Well, that's a mystery in itself, because there's more than 50,000 plants in Amazon, maybe even more than 100,000. Somehow they figure out how to mix exactly two correct ones, and they don't really grow exactly next to each other in nature. So uh, if you ask indigenous people, they say that the plant themselves told them so. They observed that jaguars bite on the ayahuasca vine and sort of experience something. So they tried it, and then when they were consuming the vine told them to go get this other plant to make it stronger. So that's a story I've heard from one of the shamans. But the reality is we don't know. What we do know is that it's at least 4,000 years old, and it's been documented. So it has a very long tradition. Where it came from, I don't know, but I'm really glad somebody has discovered it, because it has an immense healing potential.
Interesting. So you say about the healing potential. So again, like many people that have not done the research, that don't know much about ayahuasca, they've just heard things on the internet, for instance, on TV, on TikTok. People have heard things, and in their mind, as soon as someone mentions, say, DMT or ayahuasca or plant-based medicines, they instantly think drugs. So could you talk to us about the difference between, say, drugs and, say, a plant-based medicine like ayahuasca?
Well, it's an interesting misconception, right? Ayahuasca is now called a drug, but it's only been called a drug for the last 50 years, since they made it illegal by Nixon's administration in the U.S., and obviously it spread around the world. But it was a medicine for thousands of years. So you choose yourself what wins. Anyone who comes to our retreat definitely agrees that it's not a drug. I believe a difference between a drug and a medicine is, if it's something very new and it's been made in a laboratory, then it's probably a drug. But if it's a drug can be a medicine as well, so it's a tricky linguistics problem. But I definitely see it as medicine and prefer to call it as medicine. But if you call it a drug, I'm not gonna attack you or something.
Okay, so again, you say about the medicine, you call it a medicine, and it's known as, say, plant-based medicine. So can you talk to us from your own experience, maybe even from your personal experience, about the healing that you went through? Obviously, when you said you was desperate, when you was looking, so maybe talk to us about some of the healing process that you've actually faced firsthand. But I'd also like to know if you can share, obviously not names, but just some of the stories, because you've obviously done hundreds of retreats over the time since being there. And you must have heard some incredible breakthroughs and healing journeys from the individuals that visit you.
Yeah, I can talk about my own story, and I've counted that we had more than 1,000 people at our retreat so far. So there's a lot of incredible stories, but I don't know where to start. But my own story and explaining how ayahuasca works is really not easy because it's not very linear. You just get information and it's in form of images or messages, but it's very unique to every given person. What the way it worked for me personally was when I would drink it, and let's say I would be very depressed and very feeling very poorly, mentally. When I would drink it, it would take away that pain. And how to explain it is, as we live our lives and we experience negative emotions and maybe even trauma, it kind of gets stored in us in nooks and crannies of our brain and body, and it weighs us down. So what it does, it kind of removes that for a moment, and you can feel lighter and you can feel more positive. And then a lot of times in ayahuasca experience, you also get information messages, certain realizations that you should do with your life or not do. And then if you follow them, eventually in that two-step forward, one-step back process, you're going to start feeling gradually better and better. And that's what happened to me personally. And I'm not saying that I'm happily ever after and there's no problems ever, but I'm generally 90% more positive than ever was before, and I'm very fulfilled in my life, and I can largely draw all that back to the first ever time I had ayahuasca. This was the moment where the breakthrough moment where the change began. That is still carrying on till today, and it doesn't mean that anything else I've done, like, I've also had a coach. I've also done meditation and yoga, but it was more powerful, and it started back then. So it doesn't mean that if you do ayahuasca, you don't need to do anything else ever again. It just makes things easier, and whatever mindfulness practice you're gonna implement, it's probably gonna be more effective and more powerful.
Yeah, very interesting. Again, and you mentioned then about how you took the ayahuasca and things, they felt better. But what I want to ask you then, for anyone listening that's potentially going through a difficult time or a challenging time in their life, they could easily just say, I'm going to drink alcohol and that's going to numb my pain and I'm going to feel temporary better as well. But then, for instance, for someone that runs the retreats, ayahuasca ceremonies, for instance, rather than say someone going towards alcohol every time they feel depressed or down or shit, potentially exploring a plant-based medicine like ayahuasca, what sort of tips or advice or suggestions could you give someone to maybe look in this direction rather than going straight towards the drink, the drugs, the sex, for instance?
So the difference between, let's say, alcohol or even antidepressants and the plant medicines, or ayahuasca specifically, is that when you drink alcohol, it takes away your pain, numbs you down. Antidepressants largely do the same thing. Same goes with weed, right? But they don't provide you with anything that makes you better the next day. So let's say you drink alcohol, you have problems, you feel bad, you drink alcohol, you have even more problems tomorrow, and you keep drinking alcohol, and eventually your problems get out of hand, and you ruin your life. Same goes to weed, and not to the same extent, but also to antidepressants. They just cover up the symptoms, but they never really allow you to address the root cause of your problems. And that's the difference with ayahuasca, because it does help you with the symptoms. It definitely makes it easier, but the process itself is not pleasant. It's not like an immediate gratification where you just feel better. It is work, and you know it yourself, Ryan. You've done it, and you've seen how it played out in your group. And so you do the work, and you get relief. You feel more connected, and then you also get the direction in life, and it helps you see what you can do to actually feel better consistently. And then it also helps you. So let's say you have bad habits, but it shows you that habits are bad, and actually allows you for the first time ever to not do it. Things like addictions. Ayahuasca helps immensely with that, and even just you being able or not being able to um, adopt positive habits or resist negative ones. It's just an overall help, I guess. And if you drink ayahuasca, you get progressively better, and if you drink alcohol, you get progressively worse. I guess it's a very bad comparison because I always like to say, I can't hate too much on the previous generations and our parents and a lot of mistakes they did because when I felt bad, I realized that if I wouldn't have found ayahuasca, I would probably found alcohol. And you do whatever it takes to run away from pain, to get away from pain, because we're not designed to endure it. And then, yeah, we're so lucky that we live in a time now where um, growth mindset is a thing and ayahuasca is a thing, and that there was this group of indigenous people that actually preserved that tradition for us and decided to share it with us.
Yeah, so I want to touch on something there about living in this day and age now, because, for instance, telling the previous generation, like our parents, for instance, like, oh yeah, we've got to go and do ayahuasca or plant-based medicines. I've heard people in, say, the previous generation say to me, like, you're weird, you're crazy, like, what the fuck is all this? Like, so for anyone potentially want to explore this, but they have people around them saying these type of things and almost scaring them or putting them off from going ahead and actually experience an ayahuasca retreat, for instance. Could you talk to us about, say, some of the dangers and about safety with, say, using plant-based medicines? Like, what are some of the procedures or the process or the preparation in order to come to, say, someone's first ever retreat?
So there were many questions in that sentence you just said, but first of all, the people that hate on you and say bad things to you, they are the people that probably need ayahuasca more than you do. And the best thing to do is just carry on with your own self-growth journey, whether it's ayahuasca or something else, till eventually those people will come back to you and start asking what it is you're doing, because like I want some of that because you look better. So it's not about convincing them right there and now. So you can't expect them to act as healed people when they're sick. Just treat them as sick people and don't listen. But it should not stop yourself from experiencing that. Regarding safety of ayahuasca, well, if you're generally healthy and if you follow all the rules in preparation that we will provide you with, if you come to Loara, for example, it's very, very safe. So generally, if you ever hear about terrible stories about ayahuasca and people getting hurt, it generally involves other unprofessional retreat, unprofessional facilitators, fake shamans or fake medicines. And regarding that, I can assure you that at least at this retreat, we follow those rules, and we had more than 1,000 people now that came through our gates, and they left better and happier. But um, generally, that's why the choice of the retreat is very important. But if you, let's say, would not follow the instructions and choose to mix ayahuasca with antidepressants, you can hurt yourself. You can even die. But then don't blame it on ayahuasca. It's just you not following the instructions. So unfortunately, as I like to say, if somebody had ayahuasca and a week later he was shot in a gang fight, they would blame ayahuasca. That's just how our media works.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong there, because, for instance, I always use like this sort of, I said to people, like, if you go onto, say, Google and type in, let's use red wine, for instance. If you go on Google and type, what are all the positive benefits of drinking 1 glass of red wine per week? It will tell you a list of everything that's positive. But then if you said, what are the negative side effects of drinking 1 glass of red wine a week? You're going to find all of the negatives, and it's going to literally say you'll die within a month or something. So you can't trust every single thing that you hear or see on social media or on the news, etc. So you need to do your own research and definitely speak to people that have either done it or been there and get first-hand experience as well. And that's what I done before I come to see you as well, just to put that in there, because I was very unsure, but there was something in my body and my soul telling me that I should visit the retreat. And I spoke to someone that had done it firsthand, and wow, I'm so glad that I met that person who introduced me to the retreat. So I want to say now, Sam, is, can you like briefly explain to me and anyone here that's listening in or who will listen, what does, say, a typical retreat look like? From, say, morning till night or night till morning, whatever it's going to look like. Can you just give us a brief overview of what a retreat looks like for someone?
Sure. So the average retreats that we run are 1 week long, and it looks like this. You arrive to Medellin, and from where we pick you up on the bus at around 2 p.m. We bring you to the retreat, this beautiful venue. Let me show you around a little bit. And you come over here. We settle you in your rooms, or we have shared rooms or private cabins. I don't know if you can see them from here. Those are new. And we then proceed to do the first word circle where everyone gets to know each other. The first 24 hours are basically spent just building trust and people getting comfortable and learning how to navigate their psychedelic experience. So on the second day, we do the workshop specifically about that, explaining people how to act and how not to act in the ceremony and how to get the most out of it. Talk about integration, explaining about the integration journals. Then we might do yoga during the day if we have a yoga teacher volunteer. We have now, but sometimes we don't. So then about 1 hour before the first ceremony at 5, we'll gather in a ceremony space. Everyone will get their nice comfy mattress. We will go through a breathing exercise session and then a meditation. Then the taita or shaman, taita is a Colombian word for shaman, he comes in, he prepares the medicine, meaning not cooks it, but conjures it and prepares it spiritually. Then everyone drinks their first cup. About an hour later, medicine music starts playing. It's very beautiful. I'm sure Ryan can attest to that. So 6 p.m. first cup, 8 p.m. second cup, 10 p.m. third cup. You don't really have to drink all 3 cups. Sometimes 1 cup is enough, but if somebody is having trouble connecting with the medicine, they can have more. At about 1 a.m., the ceremony comes to an end. Everyone gets back to normal, and people go to their rooms, they rest. In the morning, we have breakfast, then we have a word circle where everyone shares their experience, and we try to make sense out of it all together. We repeat that for two more days, so 3 night ceremonies. Then we have a day off where you just rest and relax. We have a team of masseuses coming over. You can get a massage. Then we do another word circle talking about what happened yesterday. Next day we start from the morning, as we like to say, ayahuasca for breakfast. So at 7 a.m. you drink ayahuasca. So first 3 ceremonies, they are night ceremonies. There's only candlelight and fire. There's not much light. You can't really see much around. So it's very introspective. You put all your direction internally. On the last day, it's a day ceremony. It's very beautiful here. You look around a lot, sunny, and you connect with nature. You connect with the beauty of the world, and it's generally a great way to end the week. In the evening, we have a word circle, and next morning at about 11, the bus comes and everyone goes back home. And generally, the group comes very sad and angry and emotionally heavy, and they leave all happy and borderline floating. I forgot to mention meals. Yeah, we generally, on the ceremony days, we have 2 meals. So if it's a night ceremony, it's breakfast and lunch. If it's a day ceremony, it's lunch and dinner. And on the rest day, we do have all 3 meals. I might be forgetting something now, but did I miss anything, Ryan, from your memories?
I can't remember, to be fair. I'm not sure, but I think you got everything. But I want to go deeper a little bit, on anyone again listening, maybe curious of, you mentioned the word circle. So can you talk to us more about the word circles and the importance of word circles, and also about the preparation regarding food leading up to the ceremonies?
Okay. So you like to ask 2 questions in the same one. Let me start with the word circles. Word circles are sharing circles. It's a form of group integration. It's where everyone shares what happened, and it helps you to sort of move the memories of your ceremony from short-term memory to long-term memory. It helps you organize things and not forget things, because with ayahuasca, unfortunately, there is this aspect of dreamlike states. So a lot of times the memories fade very quickly. So you need to save them, and it's a part of your integration process. So word circles are amazing because let's say we have a group of 20 people on average. in every group there will be 2, 3 people there that will be mirroring your problems, and you can learn as much as you learn from your own experiences from theirs. People really share a lot. It's a very bonding experience, and it's just beautiful. I learned so much from Word Circles. It's amazing. Regarding preparation, generally it requires quitting all psychoactive substances, especially SSRI antidepressants, about 4 weeks before coming to the retreat. About 2 weeks before the retreat, it's recommended to stop smoking weed or consuming any drugs, or preferably alcohol. 1 week before retreat, there's a special diet. It's a pretty extensive one, but we do send you a list of how to prepare for it. But generally, it's stuff like not having milk products, spicy foods, not having any fermented foods, citrus fruits, um, lowering your caffeine consumption, lowering your sodium consumption. So those kinds of things.
Okay, brilliant. So I want to now talk about maybe something that a lot of people have heard and are curious to know the answer. Because I know I was, and you remember me, Sam, I asked this question actually. Many people hear about going to ayahuasca retreats, and they either say they've heard something online or they've read something where you're going to puke up, like you're going to purge or vomit, or even worse, you're going to shit yourself. So can you just talk to us a little bit about this for anybody who's curious to know the answers?
Yeah, the purging is an unpleasant part of the ayahuasca process, and a lot of people don't drink ayahuasca because they're afraid of purging. But as you probably noticed, Ryan, during your retreat, people actually crave purging and they expect purging because they know purging is relief. In a local Colombian tradition, they don't say to puke, they say, at least when it has to do with ceremony, they say aliviar, which means to alleviate, because you alleviate. And together with the physical purging, somehow mysteriously you also get rid of emotions, and you might get a traumatic memory come up and then you purge, and after that it doesn't feel that sharp anymore. You sort of loosen something up. It's hard to believe or explain that phenomena, but once you feel it, you feel it, and then you know it. And in the beginning when people purge, especially puking, people get scared or upset, and in the close to the end of the retreat, everyone's happy for everyone purging because they know that they're doing work and they're getting relief. That's why they come here.
Yeah, I mean, just my experience when I was there, I remember the first time that night when I purged, and oh my God, like it wasn't scary, but I just knew it had to come up. So I just kept telling myself in my mind, trust the process, trust the process. It's going to be okay. This is part of the process. And then as soon as I accepted it and I gave it permission to come, it come up and I felt instantly better. And I remember people even on the first night were like almost congratulating other people for purging and to getting all this shit they've got built up inside them out. And again, for me, again, second night, I done the same. And then the first day ceremony, I took the ayahuasca, I took the 2 cups, and I didn't purge. And I remember I said it on my live that time. I had literally an ayahuasca baby. I was looking down at my stomach and I could see this thing kicking and everything. And it was crazy. And that's when I got blasted off and had the most incredible experience of my life. But yeah, that's just my own experience. So now I want to talk to you because again, this is a really important thing for me. And even to this day, I still get, I can't remember the word, you have to help me with this one, like flashbacks. What did you call it?
Reactivations.
Reactivations. So like I have a playlist on my phone of the music, and even I go onto your YouTube playlist, and I listen to the music from the Taita, from the shaman, and literally I get these reactivations. And sometimes I could be laying on my bed, laying on the sofa, laying on the beach, for instance, and oh my God, like something just clicks in my mind, and it's like I'm back in this out of body crazy experience, and it's like I'm there. It's like I've just taken ayahuasca, and I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like one of the most incredible feelings I've ever felt. So can you talk to us about your opinions on the importance of the musics that the shamans they play?
Well, the music is beautiful, especially if you can understand the lyrics. It's a very deep music. We are I don't want to toot our own horn, but I believe we have the best music when it comes to ayahuasca retreats. ever, because we almost have a band. There's the shaman himself. He's an amazing musician, and as he sings and as he plays his flutes and his pan flutes and his charangos and his guitar, he's such a multi musical instrument versed person. He's not just playing the music, he is guiding you through that music. He's throwing this transparent blanket over the people, and this music, it guides you. You know, sometimes with ayahuasca it's not always rainbows and butterflies. You can get into difficult moments, and it's very important in those moments to still keep hearing the music and understanding that it's a controlled process and you're not alone and there's somebody here taking care of you. Music is that lifeline, or when your ego completely dissolves and you don't know who you are and what your name is, you can still feel protected and feel good. And yeah, for those who are curious, just check out our YouTube channel. We have a couple recordings, and I'm sure you'll find them curious. It's I believe it's just Loira on YouTube.
Thank you, my friend, for sharing that. So now I want to ask you then, like for instance, anybody that's listening to this now, and they're really curious about trying ayahuasca because they've done their own research, they've seen things. It's something that they're almost being called to try out, but they are scared. They are a bit worried. They don't know where to begin. What would you say the very first steps for someone who's interested in potentially coming to a retreat? What would be the first action steps they can take?
Well, first of all, I guess research is good. Reading some books. If you want to find comfort and you want to find other people who've done it and see what they feel, I suggest you go read reviews. Like, for example, in our case, we have more than 250 5-star reviews now. You can just read and see what other people have to say, and maybe find people with similar situation you're in, and see how they got relief and what they felt like. So that would be a good start. I also have on our website, we have a reading list if you want to read a few books and understand more about the subject. But generally, if you feel calling to it, just do it. What's the worst thing that can happen? You take a vacation to a tropical paradise country. That's not too bad, right? It's not even that expensive. Like what we charge for an ayahuasca retreat is, you'll spend more just staying in a hotel in most Western countries. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't agree more, to be fair. But yeah, that's brilliant tips there. So, Sam, I want to get a bit deeper now. So let's speak about the current state of the world. Like we're in this world that we're living in now, and it's all Instagram, social media, go, 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 go. Like you have to have all these things and all these titles above your name, and you have to own all these cars and vehicles and things. You know, I've heard many successful people, like business owners, entrepreneurs. I've heard podcasts of multi-millionaires, even billionaires, that have experienced ayahuasca, and they've got, say, the biggest downloads of information, or they've got the best ideas from these ayahuasca retreats that they've been on. Can you just talk to us about, say, how someone could potentially use ayahuasca to get clear, get a vision on their life? Because that's what I help people with. I help people gain a clear vision in their life to get a goal, and then to build the confidence to then take the action steps in order to eventually achieve their goal. So many people don't have a goal in life. They've got no vision. They're lost, for instance. I think you said that before, like you was desperate. You didn't know where you was going in life, and then you discovered ayahuasca. So I'm not saying everyone needs to go out there and just do an ayahuasca retreat to get clarity in their life, or to get themselves a vision or goal. But how could this be used as something to help that process, to help them get very clear on what they want, to help understand more about themselves?
I'll use myself as an example. I remember when I first did ayahuasca about 4 years ago. At first I thought it was just a curiosity thing. I did not even accept to myself that I was looking for some kind of help. But then recently, maybe less than a month ago, I found a video that I recorded for this supposed YouTube channel that I never started, and it was about me setting goals. I believe it was for 2020, and it happened shortly after I had the ayahuasca. So I did not, back then I didn't feel my first experience was meaningful, even though it was very deep and colorful. I didn't thought it was meaningful. But now I realize that it was extremely meaningful because this was in one of those plants. In one of those plants, it was me moving to countryside. It was me having children. It was me, finding direction in life, and then eventually, shortly, I've achieved all of that, and it was the catalyst, I guess, for me to just start believing in myself. And yeah, I couldn't really explain to you guys how it would work and how it would look for you, but whatever is the issue you have, if you think about it, you set an intention, you'll probably get some form of understanding. And how or in which form, or it's indescribable. But like, we don't know how ayahuasca works. Who is it you're speaking to? Is it God? Is it plant spirit? Is it your subconscious? But we only know that it works, and over again, people come and get relief. And as you said, it doesn't have to be about healing. It can also be about growth. At Lawara, our motto is connect, heal, grow. And it's because you connect to yourself, connect to nature, connect to spirituality, connect to what you want from life, connect to medicine as well. And then you heal yourself and you feel better and you get your mood up to where it deserves to be. And then you grow because if you're healed and connected, you just grow. You have no other way of living life. You just want to do cool things, and you want to be with good people, and you want to inspire other people. It's just a process. Once you start it, you'll understand what we're talking about. And it doesn't it. You can do it without ayahuasca as well. You can. It's just that ayahuasca makes it easier.
That's absolutely brilliant, Sam. So, Sam, I want to turn it back on you now. So I've asked you a few questions. Is there anything that you would like to explain, or there's something that you want to talk about that maybe we haven't covered yet?
Um, yeah, I want to talk about something. It's for people that, let's say, for some reason wouldn't want to come to our retreat. If you do choose to work with ayahuasca, understand that it's a very safe medicine, but only if it's done properly. Don't go and buy a bottle on black market and drink it yourself and jump out of the window and then die and blame ayahuasca for it. If you choose a retreat, be very careful. Choose a place where it has connection to an indigenous tradition, a place that which has a shaman that grows and cooks their own ayahuasca, a place that has a good facilitation team, a place that's safe, a place where they put focus on integration and really care for you and don't just give you ayahuasca and let you figure it all by yourself. So yeah, that would be my words of advice.
Yeah, I think it's so important with anything like this. Like for me, I said like my journey last year, I was traveling down from Mexico, and something in my soul was telling me like I need to experience this. And yeah, I tried some mushrooms in Mexico in a famous place for doing them, and I felt so calm. I felt the calmest I'd ever felt. But we just bought some shrooms from the hostel, and we just went up into the woods and we done them, and it was cool. But this is a totally different level, and this is just from my own experience coming to you guys. Like the service that you provided and the support that you gave even beforehand, before even coming, was unbelievable. Like you guided us through any questions that we had, supported us for any questions that I had, for instance. And then again, like say the meal preparation, you helped us with the preparation, and then we arrived. We all felt as a team because we were all there together. And I remember I heard you on one of your videos before. You said if you want to make friends as an adult, come to an ayahuasca retreat because every single one of us there, we become friends. It was like we'd known each other forever and we'd only just met. So yeah, just from my own experience, I just want to say, Sam, to you, thank you so much for doing what you're doing. And yeah, that retreat I felt holds a super special place in my heart, and I will never forget the experience I had, and especially with the the journal. I'm just trying to think, where is my journal? I wanted to show the journal, unless you got one to hand, but the journal was absolutely incredible. And I'm going to actually sit down and write some more, because something that you guys said to me was, you're probably going to remember things 1 year down the line, 5 years down the line. So always remember the journal. And I was sat there the other day and I remembered so much more stuff that happened in my retreat, and I need to write it down. So yeah, I'm going to rewrite my journal, and who knows, next month or the month after, I think I'm going to be coming back. So, Sam, I just want to say thank you so much for doing what you're doing, and thank you so much for coming here today and explaining a little bit about ayahuasca and about what you guys do to the audience here, because I know so many people are curious and interested, and they've got so many questions that need answering. So before we go, like I say, once more, is there anything else that you think the audience should know before we finish this call today?
I do believe that you have a link, right, that can give them a discount.
Yeah,
So
anyone that does want to go, Sam's kindly give me a discount, and I'm going to let him explain, but it's a discount for me for money off my next retreat, and for you guys as well. If anyone wants to sign up for this, like, I'm not going to promote something that I don't believe in, and I would never do that. But this retreat here was absolutely incredible. And I just want to say, Sam, for me, from all the research that I've done, it's probably one of the cheapest ones that I've ever seen, if not the cheapest one. And by far, it's one of the best ones from just seeing the pictures and obviously arriving there, because I've seen these retreats online, and it's literally someone's shed in a garden, it looks like, and it looks so sketchy. So from my own experience, I can say I had the best time. The people, the staff, the food was absolutely incredible. And for me, I'd even just come back just for the music. Seriously, the music is like a massage to my brain. It's something I've never heard in my life before. So yeah, Sam, as you mentioned there is a link, and I'm going to put it somewhere around this video in the comments or in the bio or whatever. So for anyone who does listen back to this and who is interested, feel free to reach out to me or either Sam, and there is a link, and you get some money off. So Sam, if you want to explain a little bit more, anything that I've missed.
basically, we have a referral program where people that have attended our retreat before, we give them a link, which both gives when you use that link, you get $50 off, and people that shared the link, they get a $50 off from their future retreats. So it's our way to leave our marketing budget in the Lawara family, and instead of giving it to big corporations. So I hope you approve of that, and if some of you sign up to Ryan's link, you'll also get a nice discount, so you can come back sooner. So it's a win-win-win.
And one more thing, Sam, I want to mention, actually, for anyone that wants to potentially volunteer. So I know some people have questions about volunteering at potential ayahuasca retreats. Is that something that you offer?
Yeah, we do have a volunteer program open now. We're kind of full for the next few months, but still feel free to message me. We're looking for some specific people, especially somebody who's really passionate about medicine and has a background in business or marketing. We need some help on that side. And we always like to have yoga teachers, integration coaches. If you're an integration coach and you want to come and help us out, and also get a lot of clients for yourself and help a lot of people, hit me up.
Sam, I just want to say thank you so much, my friend. I really enjoyed this episode. So if there's nothing else that you feel that the audience needs to hear, I'm happy to call it a day. And I just want to say thank you so much, Sam. So I'm going to put it back to you. Is there anything else that you got to say, or is that going to be the end today?
I think we covered a lot in such a short amount of time. Ryan, thank you so much for having me, and for all the work you're doing, and spreading the good information out there. We need to work together and keep making a world a better place. Either one cup at a time or one coaching session at a time, whatever works. Just make a world a happier place.
I couldn't agree more, my friend. And yeah, you're so right. So Sam, thank you so much, and everybody that's come on today and that's listening to this today, I just want to say thank you so much for being here, and we're going to catch you all on the next live. So thank you so much, everybody, and we're going to speak soon. Thanks, Sam.
Cheers.